Hi Lonnie, let me show you how to use the Paint Color DNA table here at the Land of Color. So I'm going to go back to the home page. You want to go to thelandofcolor.com, make sure that you're logged in, and then just click on Paint Color DNA table. And it'll take you right to the table. So you're asking about accessible beige and balanced beige. So just type in your paint color name, click the search icon, save it, and then I'm going to type in balanced and search and save it. And then we get this compare button. And when we click on that, we get the two colors that we're starting with in their own window. I have multiple tabs open of the Paint Color DNA table. So I'm going to flip over to a new tab, go to the Paint Color DNA table again, and I'm going to click on the tutorial, and I scroll down, and this is my favorite operation. This is a short tutorial about how to use the filtering and operations in the table. I only ever use this one, but a lot of my users, they make use of all of these different functions. I don't. I think this is the easiest thing to do, and we are only working with L, C, and H. If you hover over the little question mark, there's a micro tutorial that tells you exactly what this filter does. So L is for lightness, and it controls how light or dark a color looks, and it's on a scale from 0 to 100. Chroma is on a scale from 0 to about 71 in the table, and it tells you how colorful a color looks. So lower numbers are weak, muted, neutral. Bigger numbers are the strong, vivid, bold colors. And hue angle closely maps to the Munsell hue family ranges, and those are on the color strategist color wheel. Like 90 degrees is the middle of the yellow hue family, and you'll get your color wheel in a couple days. So if you have any questions about the other attributes in the filtering part of the table, just hover and it'll tell you what that filter controls. So if we go back to the first lookup table for accessible beige, we have a lightness of 81.7. And this is really what you're wanting to control, because you want a lighter color than accessible beige. So if I go over to the lightness filter, I am going to put in a higher number, because the higher the number, the lighter the color. And since we're starting off with 81.7, we'll call it 82. I'm going to start searching for colors at 85 up to about 92, I'd say. And, these are just ranges. And since it's all digital, you can experiment. So if you want to do this first search and you decide that you want to go even lighter than the results we get, you can change this to 95 if you want, right? For chroma, for accessible beige, it's 8.6. So we want to stay in the same range, but I wouldn't mind seeing colors with a little less chroma than accessible beige, because less chroma means it's going to be more neutral. And that can kind of contribute to the color also feeling lighter. So the range for chroma, I'm going to search is 7 at that new low for a lighter color, with the max of 8.6, which is where we're starting, right? With accessible beige, that's where we're starting, is 8.6. Hue angle is 88, and I like to do a little range for that as well. So I might back that down to 85 and go up to 92. And that way it matches the lightness one, so it's easy to keep track of what we searched. And then all you have to do is click the search icon. The table turns gray, and here are the results. So we have lots of nice options here. You can increase how many results show. And these are all the different brands that I have in the Paint Color DNA table. You can go up here to the brand drop-down menu, and you can just choose the brands that you have access to. So let's just do Behr, Benjamin Moore, and Sherwin-Williams. And then click on it to close it, hit that search icon again. And now these are all of the colors that are lighter than Accessible Beige from Beige, Sherwin-Williams, and Benjamin Moore. And you can make your choices. So I would definitely take a look at a chip of Maritime White. Sailcloth is one of my favorites. Chenille White can turn peachy. So no. Pacer White's a good one. I love Panda White. Panda White's a good one. Divine White is another one that can turn a little peachy. Kestrel White's the same. A little too peachy for me. White Mocha from Behr, if you have access to Behr. That's a good one too. And then when we click compare, now we have our shopping list in one window. And from here, let me get it lined up right. Scoot it up just a little bit. And from here, you can take a screenshot and then you can save it. So that's what I recommend doing. You just take a screenshot and save your list. And you can also click on the Try It Now button over here if you want to order a sample directly from Sample-Eyes for Benjamin Moore and Sherwin-Williams. The link for Behr will take you to the Home Depot where you can get a link. Okay, so that's it for Accessible Beige. So if we go back to our window, you said, I forget what you said, we need to go look at your email. Let's see, that was your email from today. You said you wanted 50% lighter on Accessible Beige and about 50% darker on Balanced Beige. Okay, so if we want darker on Balanced Beige, we're starting at 74.1. So I'm going to go back to this window and I can reset it. Scoot this up. I'll leave this here for a second if you want to pause the video and write down this list so you don't have to do the search all over again. I'm going to reset the table, and the easiest way to do that is to just refresh the window, is how I do it because it's just faster. And then I'm going to copy the tutorial again. My favorite operation, it's in light blue so it's easy to find, and I'm going to go paste in L, C, and H and go back to our reference window. We're starting at 74.1 and you want this one darker. So I'd start about 10. So let's make the max here 64 and let's go down to 54. Let's see how dark we get. The chromaticity is 10, 10.2, we'll call it 10. So since we're going darker, we don't want to let up on the chroma. So I would just put in a simple range of like 9 to 10. You could do 10 to 11 if you wanted to. Like I said, you can do the first search, and if that's not what you're looking for, you can go play with the numbers. And the hue angle, I think we're still at 80, no, we're at 83 for this color. So for the hue angle, we'll do 80 to 85. That's a good range to see all the colors that are darker than Balanced Beige. Go over here, select our brands again, and close the window and hit search. Let's see what we get. And we didn't get anything for this range, and it's probably a little too tight. So a darker color at 74. I'm going to change this and go up to 70. Back it down just 4 and see what we get. And we still don't have anything. So the chroma could be the problem. So let's bump this up to 11 and see what we get. There we go. That helped. So your best bet, it looks like these two are the same color. You see this asterisk right here? And it says at the top of the table that the asterisk means Benjamin Moore aliases. So Indian River and Ranchwood are the same color. They just have different numbers in Benjamin Moore. This one looks like your best bet. Ranchwood or Indian River from Benjamin Moore Kingsport Gray is worth a look too. Grab that and take a look at the chip and see what you think. But according to our search, Sherwin-Williams really doesn't have anything unless we back the chroma down, and we can go look at that. So this is where you can start playing with the numbers if you want to see the different results that you get. And we got a few more by backing down the chroma to 8. Briarwood. This is another example where it's the same paint color with the same name, but it has 2 different numbers, which is why it doesn't have the asterisk, because it doesn't have a different name. But so the paint color DNA table is handy for finding those aliases as well. Cathedral Gray could be a good option. That's darker than Balanced Beige. And we can adjust it even more. We can change this to 50. We can go a little darker than what we were searching for before. And now we're getting colors like Texas Leather and Stampede. And still nothing from Sherwin-Williams, which is really interesting, isn't it? I don't think I would go any darker. And we were starting at 74 already. But we can put in 74 and see what we get, because we did change the chromaticity. It didn't really do anything. Going back here to Balanced Beige, 74, 10, and 83. Yeah, I think this is going to be 10 and 83. I wouldn't mess with the hue angle because that's quite a range already. 8 to 11, 10 fits in that range nicely. And we were starting at 74 for Balanced Beige. And we went all the way down to 50, which is quite dark. So I think this is your answer for options for something darker than Balanced Beige. And you can put all of these columns in order, by the way. So if you want these in order by, lightest to darkest, for example, just click on these little black arrows, and the table will put it in order for you from lightest to darkest. So yeah, for a color darker than Balanced Beige, I would definitely get one of these, like Indian River. Cathedral Gray would be a good one. And you want to look for something that has a hue angle closer to your starting color. So Pelham Gray, I would choose Pelham before I chose Kingsport, for example, because we're already doing Cathedral. But yeah, you just, you shop the list that way. So you might be okay with, a color that is darker than Ranchwood. Like, you might be shopping your list down here at the bottom, but you have that option when you do it this way, and you utilize the filters, and you can tweak the ranges up or down as you do the search, and you have lots and lots of options. And then again, once you select your colors, this is my list. You hit compare, and this is your shopping list from there. And you can take a screenshot or get your samples directly. So that's how it works. This is the Paint Color DNA table. This is what you have a subscription to. And you have full control of your subscription. Just click on Manage Subscription at any time. And that's where all the information is about all of your orders. And you just have to be logged in when you get to the Land of Color and click on the Paint Color DNA table, and you are ready to go. So good luck with everything, and I hope you find your perfect color.